One thing that a lot of people don't think about today, and they probably need to give this a lot of thought, is that we are probably the first generation ever that doesn't know how to deal with hardship. By hardship, I mean hardship. The grid goes down, you've got no power, there's no end in sight. You are going to have to carve your new life out of whatever you got in your head, what kind of knowledge you have in your head, what kind of skills do you have. And the sad truth is, a lot of people today, they don't know how to do nothing. And a big part of the population, it's going to spell the end for these people. And that's sad. A lot of people today don't even know what going hungry is. They've never went hungry. They've never went 2 or 3 days without food. They've never had to work long, hard hours at a physical labor job. Thankfully, I've experienced a lot of those things. Would I enjoy doing that at my age now? No. But could I do it? Yes. Because I've been there. I know what it's like. I know what it takes to survive. And so many people today have no clue. They have no clue what to do if the power were to go out. They would probably spend 3 to 4 days looking out their window waiting for the trucks to show up, for help to show up when help isn't coming. And a lot of these people, they're not going to make it. And so you need to take a good hard look at your own life and say, well, what if the power went out? What is my plan? What am I going to do? And I don't mean beyond having basic prepping needs. I mean long term. If the power wasn't coming back on, what's going to happen? Well, it would be about 3 or 4 days in a city, and then, all the chaos that happens, it's already happening without the power going out. What do you think it would be like if the power goes out and people start realizing there's no help coming? Because if power goes out, all communication goes out. So you're not going to get any news of when things are going to be fixed or if they're going to be fixed. And it depends on what happens. Now, we've seen things like earthquakes and natural disasters, and right away, one of the things that start happening is looters come out. Looters want to take things for them to be able to survive. Those are going to be water, any kind of food. They're going to be trying to take that from anybody that has it. So you have to have a way to hide these things where nobody can get to them. That is all, that is all part of prepping. Man, I got itches. I've been working on sheetrock and stuff, and I got itches. Okay? But so many people just don't even know where to begin. They've just never been in any sort of hardship. Most of these people are in cities because you have to be able to have some kind of skills to live rural. So the rural people will be okay for a while, but there are people that live rural that they're going to have trouble too. And you have to know what things to keep on hand. You have to be able to defend everything you have. If you're against having things that you can use to defend yourself, you're in trouble. You are in big trouble. You might as well pick up a stick. That isn't going to work, fighting anybody off with a stick. So you need to think of these things. But so many people are just so soft today. And not just the fact that they don't have the knowledge, because a lot of this stuff is instinct that is inside of us. When we want to survive, we're going to find a way to survive. The problem now is so many people are just so out of shape. They're not going to be able to do what's required to survive. They're not going to be able to chop wood to stay warm. People are going to break bones. They're going to have heart attacks trying to do these things. And that's going to spell the end for them right there. And then, but if you're in that bad a shape, that's probably the best thing that could happen. So I try to, I thought this bothered me for years when I wasn't in good shape, and I knew it. I'm like, man, if something happens, I'm not going to be able to fight off people. I'm not going to be able to do what I have to do on my homestead to survive because I'm so out of shape. I just physically can't do it. And you're going to have that sector, the elderly people, that they're going to have a hard time doing it. So I would hope that those people have younger people in their circle, in place, that can help them with that. But we're not that kind of society anymore. Younger people have gotten very selfish. They've gotten very greedy. And they just don't care about the older generations anymore. It's not like it used to be. So you really need to just worry about yourself these days. And, you know, it's really sad that we have turned into this kind of society that we just can't take care of ourselves if something were to happen. Even that I've started to get in better shape, I'm still older. It's still harder for me to do a lot of the things I did when I was younger, although I have no problem chopping wood or anything like that now. But them things are going to become more difficult as the years go on for me and for any other people who are aging, and everybody is aging. So when we prep and when we plan for any kind of a disaster that might happen, a lot of times we don't take into account of our age. And I know what this is like because I worked for a guy when I worked at the pawn shop, and when I started there, he was 63 years old, and he was buying prepping supplies by the truckload. And he had 3 full barns of this hospital. He would buy the government surplus, the old hospital pillows and, I mean, medical stuff. And he would fill 3 barns with this crap. And then he had to have a heart bypass surgery, a very big one. And he only lived 10 more years. So when he passed away, he's got 3 barns full of all this crap that nobody else is interested in having. And really, the stuff he bought, he was a city guy. He didn't have a clue about prepping. He didn't know what to buy. And it just wasted his money, you know. So if I am in poor health, I'm probably not going to care about it, you know, like that. I just want some things on hand to survive for a few weeks. And if it goes south from there, well, let happen what happens. But so many people today just don't know what a hardship is. So you're going to get people going nuts in the head because these things are starting to happen around them and they don't know what to do. You're going to have grown men crying. You already have that. Grown men crying because men are pretty soft today. The younger generations are very soft. Yes, you have your exceptions. You will always have exceptions to the rule. There will always be tough men. But we have more soft men than we've ever had. Okay, these are the guys that are carrying the purses, they're protesting, they're doing all these goofy things. They're not real men. They're not men that is going to chop firewood for you. They're going to wait for somebody bigger to show up and have them do it. These are the people that will be the drain on you if something like this happens. And there's just a lot of people today that will not pull their own weight for survival. And those are the type of people you don't want to be around. I don't know. I don't know where we're headed or if anything's going to happen in my lifetime. I hope not. But I'm always prepared. It's always something that could happen. And you can only do so much. I mean, you can only prepare so much. I am not going to spend, thousands of dollars. Oh, that's itching. Digging a bunker and doing all these things. To me, I've lived a full life already. And if it was to be the end of my life, then I guess then it would be the end of my life. It is written. So it is written, so it will be. But I do, if it's a temporary thing, I would like to survive, yes. Or at least help others. That's where a problem lies too, because you don't know who if you're trying to help somebody today, they turn around and they take what you got. So people cannot be trusted. They haven't been able to be trusted for many years. And you just have to be careful. I'm just going to stay by myself. I'm much better off. I don't need people's help. And until that day where I do, that's how I'm going to be. But you need to at least have somewhat of a plan. If you don't care, that's fine. You know what your outcome will be. I don't know. I guess that's all I got, guys, but do keep in mind that it's not the same world that your grandparents lived in. Those people knew real hardships. They knew the Depression. We don't know any of those things. Happy trails.